introverted man here. Ah, yes. Atheism has to end because there was a prayer to end it. You see, there was a global prayer effort to end atheism. Now, that didn't go very far or reach that many people, so maybe they just didn't have enough people to end us, but it failed because we're still here. But from the same person that brought you that comes a whole new bit of insanity that I found that I had to share with you. Ah, yes, they have a backup Facebook page, and it's just, let's take a look at it. I mean, it's just, this is some wonderful stuff here. So, Atheism Hoax is what it's called. Now, so this is a backup page. If we go back, I got this from Say No to Atheism and Say Yes to Jesus. And this is the same person that brought us this wonderful idea of this global prayer to end atheism. And that didn't work. So, you know, it didn't work. You know. So, anyways, I got the link for that if you want to watch that. But let's look at this atheism hoax. This is your last chance to take the atheist census. Remember, the atheist census is required by law. The census reaches its conclusion. Any undocumented atheist will be prosecuted. Well, but how can you prosecute me when you can't find me because I'm not documented because I didn't take your census? You didn't think this through. Oh, man. All right, so let's look at the census because why not, right? Sometimes you just have to point and laugh. There's nothing else you can do, you know. All atheists are required to fill out this census. Atheists must identify themselves by their real name according to the law. I mean, come on, man. I mean, we know that this is a hoax. We know it's not real. I mean, but still. Okay, Dan. Age, example 12. Enter a value between 0 and 100. 42. How would you rate your lack of belief in God? This is a modified version of the Dawkins scale. Instead, presume. Oh, God. Presuming you're an atheist, atheism is lack of belief in God. The atheists that lack of belief can categorize onto a scale. This panders to that level of ignorance while still finding out useful information about what kind of atheist you are and why you're an atheist. All right, so how would I? Is this required by law? I mean, you didn't say that the age was required by law. Yeah. Oh well. Why did this highlight and that didn't highlight? That's weird. How would you rate your lack of belief in God? I'm sorry. I've never heard of God. I've heard of God, but don't know enough to believe in him. I tell people I'm an atheist because I read the Bible, but I actually only read a few memes quoting parts of the Bible Christians tend to ignore. I don't believe in God because I have a misconception about the scope of empirical science. I'm an atheist because I think it makes me look more interesting and less mainstream. I'm an atheist because I'm too stupid to identify my intelligence with a position that requires an actual education. Well, I'm going to have to say 4, I guess, out of all that. Oh, no, now it highlights when you do that. Okay, cool. When you sneeze and someone says, God bless you, how do you respond? Which God? Thor? I don't believe in your magic, Sky Fairy. God is evil because he made me sneeze. I don't respond at all when somebody says bless you. I don't care. I just stop saying anything when people sneeze. I just say nothing. And when they say something to me, I also say nothing. It's just whatever. It's a waste of effort. I don't believe in your magic, Sky Fairy. Nah, God's evil because he made me. No, I can well see, but nah, I mean, yeah, okay, there you go. Fill in the blank with a number. There are blank gods, but of course yours is the real one. Every atheist uses this one-liner in debates, but they're inconsistent on how many gods there are. What made-up number do you use? Not every atheist uses that. But yeah, there are thousands of gods, but then they went, I mean, this is like something sarcastic. I'm taking this way 2000, 9001. During a debate, a theist argues, that because causality can't be self-caused, nature must have an inherent teleology driving motion and change that isn't affected by the change it attracts. How do you respond? Which god? Thor? How do you know that God isn't spaghetti? Snakes can't talk. Also, God is evil. I understand your argument. Therefore, is the God of the gas. Okay, so I guess I'll go with. I mean, it's your argument. It's not that I don't understand it. Oh, here we go. When in a serious debate, atheists tend to dodge arguments and regurgitate one-liners as if they're clever. Which one do you use? Well, I mean, I understand the argument, and the argument's flawed. But yeah, I know. I'm taking it. Why am I taking this seriously? Why am I taking this seriously? The problem is you're arguing for a special exemption to the rules that you've laid out. You have this causality, right? And it's a chain of events. But then you make an exception and you say, well, but this, you have to have a thing that isn't affected by that. And that thing is God. But you don't know that. It's a bald assertion. Why wouldn't the thing also be affected by other things? Why can't nature make itself? And I said, well, because nature didn't exist yet. Well, we don't know that. We don't really know what things were like before the T1 point. So we can't really respond to this. It wouldn't be a God of the gaps argument. I would say it's a bald assertion. I guess I'll go with God isn't spaghetti. Nah, which God? Thor? I mean, none of these are very good. I mean, and you already used this one before. I mean, you're saying, I mean, be more original. I mean, you're trying to make fun of atheists. I mean, can't you be a little bit better with your jokes? I mean, come on, man. How about like I eat babies or something? Come on, where's that? I'm a free thinker because check all that apply. I make original arguments like which God is this guy it, and it really bothered him, and so now it's just like the only thing he has to offer. I don't really say that. I only believe by what I'm told by Bill Nye and other school level science entertainers. Ah, jeez. I'm not intelligent enough to comment on an opinion about the ontological nature of being. Actually, I'll go with that one. That's actually a decent answer. The universe is just likely to be created by flying spaghetti as it is by a logical force that connects us. Snakes can't talk. Look at me. I'm free thinking and intellectual. Now, I said this one's actually a good answer. And why did I say that? Because I recognize that I'm not intelligent. I mean, I know some things, but there are many things I don't know, and I freely admit this. Are you a Site 10 atheist? I wish I was. I'm not as good as Site 10 atheist was. Thank you, though. I was in a couple of his videos, and he did some songs for me. So, anyways, sorry, horrible. Oh, okay. So intelligent. So yeah, I'm not intelligent enough. I mean, like, I don't know everything there is to know. I'm not really even sure what you would need to know to be able to really um, talk about the ontological nature of being. I mean, you're talking about existence itself. I mean, I would think you would need at least several PhDs to, and not in philosophy, like theoretical physics, quantum physics, I don't know, biology, cosmology. I mean, you would need some serious hefty well thought out thinkers to really address the nature of being, in a serious way. And why I'm treating this serious again, I don't know. Essay: Why are you an atheist? Because I'm a fat, pathetic sack of shit that's too stupid to find something which actually merits me calling myself a free-thinking intellectual. Come on, can I type? I get to type thing. That was just a suggestion. Lobsters. I'm going with lobsters exist. All right. If if lobsters do not exist, then your God is not made up. Conclusion: your God is made up. Count the number of fallacies. Name them. All right, let's hit submit. All right, what happens? Thank you for filling out my form. All right, well that's that. What is up with this today? All right, sorry. No need to apologize. I'm very flattered that you would think I'm such an atheist. Thank you. I mean, he's a very talented guy. I don't know if he's not doing stuff on YouTube. I don't think he's doing stuff. He was like on Minds and some other places as well where you can find his stuff. But as far as no, he's not active right now, and it's a shame because there's a lot to make fun of out there. So I don't know. All right. What's really nature? The closer I get, is it a science journal? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Right. Exactly. He was really amazing. I respected and liked him. Yeah, I did too. I still do. But yeah, that was this. Yeah. So I guess it's a, it's an attempt. It got attention. It got my attention. But if you really want a serious discussion or a serious debate, that would be something that you could set up easily. So I get this idea. I got this idea. I don't know, some point last night. I think that maybe certain theists online get a high from going after atheists. They feel like, I pwned you, and it feels good. It hits them with some dopamine or whatever. Now, that's not to say that atheists aren't doing the same thing. Maybe we feel that high when we pwn them. I don't know. But as an explanation, it's like, why bother? Who cares? Like, they're So it's just it's just a Facebook to make fun of atheists, and it's gonna get some reactions, I guess, from theists. I mean, and there's atheists that just make fun of theists. And I think there's room for that. There's room for absurdity and room for reducto ad absurdum. We got to be able to point at each other and laugh, and point at ourselves and laugh. And I actually go, yeah, okay, yeah, I can get a little highbrow and be like, well, actually, I know what the hell I'm talking about. This guy was asking me all sorts of questions. I'm like, I don't know any of this. Why do you think I would know the answers to, what's the sum total nature of reality? I don't know. It's like I remember talking to pastor a while ago, and well, where did that come from, and where did that come from, and it's like eventually you get to I don't know, and that's okay. I'm happy with that. I mean, I'd love for it to have an answer, but it doesn't right now. But for him, it's like, no, you have to have an answer. It has to be God. And it's like, okay, but then there's still questions. You still don't know how God works mechanically speaking. So, there's never really an end to the questions. It's just now you have different questions. But the problem is you filled in the answer with something that you believe in rather than something that you can demonstrate. Now, of course, apologists think that they have a way to demonstrate their God by these broken arguments. And it's really hard to explain why the argument is broken. Like, it's just, I don't know why. Like, here's why it's broken. It shouldn't be that difficult, but there's some sort of disconnect. Like, they just go, no, you don't understand what the argument's saying. No, I went over what it says. Oh, no, but it means this. Okay, and then you refute that version of it. And then they're like, oh, it means that. It means this. It's like, how many versions do you want me to explain that are broken? I mean, they're all broken. How to make people atheists. I'm from India, and people here have many superstitious beliefs. It's really hard here. You can't make anyone anything. You can't make people do stuff. Well, you can maybe coerce somebody to doing something. You can bribe somebody. You can lure them with money or some sort of thing that they really want, or you can threaten them. But as far as like just getting somebody to do or not do something, all you can do is try to reason with them and try to use logic, and ultimately you can't change them. They have to change themselves. And you'll drive yourself nuts if you're in a relationship and the person that you're with isn't the sort of person you want, and you're trying to change them. Just get out of the relationship, because you can't change the person. You can only change you. So you have to either change yourself or leave. That's really your only logical options in a situation like that. So many, I don't know what India is like. I've never been there or anything like that. I only know a few things that I've seen here and there. Like I remember there's a thing with milk. Like, they have these deities, and they'll like pour milk in their mouth and they'll drink the milk, but they're not really drinking the milk. It's like the milk is running down on the statue, and then they usually have like a towel, and it's like, you point that out, but it doesn't matter. If they believe it's a miracle, then that it doesn't matter. It's a miracle. Of course, the statue could have a hole in its mouth. I mean, there's all sorts of ways to make it look like a statue is drinking milk without it being a miracle. I want to say isn't that where the cows are sacred because people get maybe resurrected into cows? I don't know. But the only thing that you personally can do is be the best person that you can be. Learn as much as you can learn in science, logic, mathematics, history. Be well versed in a number of subjects. And you're gonna find the thing that you do really well, whatever that is. Maybe it's playing music, Maybe it's singing, maybe it's dancing, maybe it's editing, maybe it's writing, maybe it's, fill in the blank, whatever that is, and you're really good at it. Maybe it's sweeping out, the floor. Maybe you're really good at that. I don't know. But whatever that thing is, you're really, really good at, then be really, really good at that. And be the best you doing that. And will that share atheism or non-belief? No. But what it will do, you'll be a set person in the world. You'll have your shoulders up straight and be confident in yourself and understand a lot. And when and if the opportunity comes to talk to people about their beliefs, there's many approaches you can use. There's a thing called street epistemology, which has been very effective in getting people to change minds. It's not deconverting people per se, but it is getting people to think a little bit deeper than what people tend to think about. So you can check into street epistemology. There's a whole YouTube channel that does nothing but that, and the techniques for how to do it are there as well. And if you want, I can find some links for you and give you those links. I think that you can. My thing is, I think logic is the answer, but that's my view. That teaching logic, and by logic I mean informal logic and maybe even formal logic. Understanding that helped me to deconvert. But also comparative religions, teaching that can deconvert people, possibly. But again, you don't really know. And so, you can put out reason into the world in many different ways. Maybe write a book, maybe make videos, maybe, maybe sing about it, maybe draw paintings, or it might just be that, like I said, you might be somebody that's just sweeping a floor somewhere, but at the end of the day, when you're done with that work and you did a good job, you got your paycheck, you have something to show for it, and you're a proud citizen, and people might see that maybe, and you come as a friendly person that's open to engage in thoughtful conversation with people, and you communicate with people. You say, "Oh, that's an interesting belief you have. Why do you have that belief?" You don't just immediately go to, "That's wrong," or "That's stupid," or "That's silly." Like this page that I was just looking at, it's just making fun of atheism, right? Can we make a gathering place like temples or something where we can give them some stuff and motivate them to accept facts rather than an unseen power which may or may not exist? You could attempt that, sure. There are atheist churches, believe it or not. They were made primarily at the first as like a joke, but they did catch on and they have become popular. So if you look up atheist church or secular church, you will find some examples of that. I don't know that that's the method to go with, to be honest, because if somebody believes in a God and they see like a building that says, "Hey, come in here, we'll prove that God isn't real," or, find out the real facts about things or whatever, what's going to get them to come into the building? Plus, buildings have extraordinary costs associated with them and all this. So it might wind up being a headache. You might be able to start an atheist store where you sell atheist merchandise, but then really you're only selling to other atheists primarily. So I don't know how successful that sort of endeavor would be, especially if you're surrounded by theists. Being the one atheist in the crowd, you can get attention rather easily by saying, "Hey, I'm an atheist," but that also might be a bad thing, so it depends. I mean, hopefully it's not like a risk to your life to be open as an atheist where you live. I don't know, but I think there's all sorts of different strategies that you could attempt and see how they work. But you could also, but I would say first research if it's already been done, and it's really dangerous here. Yeah, so I don't know if it's, if you can even be an open atheist in India. I don't know. Um, let's see. In Norway, Muslims are opening new mosques to convert. You need to be careful. Yeah, well, yeah. The Muslims, I guess, are more dangerous than the Indian with their, the Hindu beliefs are. Well, I mean, I guess Hindus can be just as mean as anybody else might be mean, right? But Islam's very, very they have a lot of growing to do as a religion. They're still stuck in the let's kill everybody phase of their growth, and we are all hoping that they get out of that soon. But uh, I really don't. Other than what I've said, I don't know what else I could advise you, and I'm no expert on any of this. It might, like I said, you might make a YouTube channel, or you might write a book, or I don't know. But whatever it is, if you're not safe doing it, then you have to do it anonymously. So, take care for yourself first, because we need your brain to exist. So we need you to exist, and so be the best you can be, and be a reasonable person. And I think that will at least give you a good life, if not change the world. I have no idea how many people, if any, that I've affected with my stuff that I've done. I wrote a book. A lot of people have gotten it, but mostly atheists. I think I got one theist to get it. So I don't know. I mean, but it was self-published book. So maybe if it was published through a publisher, it would be a wider spread. But that's really hard to do. So I don't know. It's just depends on your skill sets. Uh, so that, yeah, I mean, it's a good question. I really don't have green. Hmm. Uh, really don't have green, because if I do, it's capacity to create my own atheistic religion. It's not really overconfidence, really. Yeah, no, you don't want to make a religion, and I don't know that you could. I guess you could, because there are atheist churches. So I suppose you could make a religion and worship nothing. Like, we're not worshiping God. What are we worshiping? Nothing. Like what? No, just not. We're just worshiping. I guess you could. I don't know. I don't know why you would. I think the Buddhists kind of have that already. Maybe I don't know, but um, I think that um, I don't know that mimicry is the best way to go if we want people to be free thinkers, and get away from magical thinking. I think setting up like easy, even something simple like at a fair. If you have like a street fair or something like that, where you can get a booth, and you set up like a simple demonstration of something that maybe it's a wide held belief, like you show how pouring milk into the statue really works, or something like that. And they can walk away and say, well, but our version is a miracle. Yeah, but you've showed them how it can be done in a non-miraculous way. And that's the best you can do. James Randi might be another person to look up, because he did all this, kind of debunking in a way. But all he did was just test the claims of people. And so that's another thing. Like, you have a claim, like you believe that if you do this thing, that this thing can happen, or maybe you've seen a guru levitate. I've heard about that. It's like, well, here's how you can levitate. There's plenty of ways to make it look like you levitate. And one of the easiest is to get there's like a bar, and it's painted to look like a stick, and it's actually made of metal. And then there's this metal bar attached to it, and the person sits on the metal bar, and it's kind of a balancing act, but they can sit on there for pretty much however long they want. And the bar's embedded in the ground, and so they have cloth draped over the bar, and so it looks like they're holding a stick and hovering in midair, but they're not. And they can even let go of this. Well, if they let go of the stick, though, the robes kind of hide the mechanism a bit, so it's usually better to have make it look like you're holding the stick or lying there or something. But you're hiding the mechanism that makes it look like you're levitating. And so you can show people how the magic trick works, or you could even be a magician, but you could show the trick and then explain how it's done. Now, Penn and Teller have done that. They've done magic tricks and then explain how they're done to people. And yet there's still people are fascinated by the magic trick. Even though you know how it works, it's still interesting to see it. So, with the balls and cups, for example, they'll show you, they do the clear balls and cups, and they do it so fast and you know how it works, but it's still amazing that they do it because it's interesting to see. So that might be another way to get more critical thinking going. I don't know. So yeah, I'm glad that this ended in that way. So I didn't have to just make fun of this Facebook page, but that was fun too. So hopefully you enjoyed this. I gotta go because my mouth and nose are like runny, and I don't know, man. It's just it's bad, man. And my hair, man, it's all over the place. I don't know. So anyways, thanks for watching. Leave your comments, questions, or whatever in the comment section below if you want. If you have questions, ask them. If you have a recipe, I don't know. That's it. I got nothing. See ya.